We regularly get asked how heavy a pool table is, and I think there are two reasons for this. One is just general curiosity about pool tables because they seem to look very heavy, but also I think that it comes from genuine concerns about whether a pool table is appropriate for some flooring to maybe go upstairs and how it might be delivered and things like that. So hopefully I can dispel a few myths and give you a few facts on that, and I'll expand on some of the considerations. So a normal pub table you might get in the UK, which normally comes in a 6 foot or 7 foot in length, those tables, normally a single piece of slate or a single piece of rock for the play surface, generally they total around 220 to 250 kilograms in weight. So they're really not too heavy. Now, an American table, generally, those come in sizes from 8 foot up to 9 foot in size. They are quite a bit heavier. So those ones, you're looking at probably around 400 to 450 kilograms all told for the largest models of those tables. Now, in terms of the main concern about weight of a pool table, it does span from what will happen to your floor if you suddenly put this heavy pool table in. Well, to give you an idea, as a comparison, let's say a 200 or 250 kilogram pool table. If you were to have 4 or 5 people just standing in a room, you wouldn't necessarily expect them to go flying through the floor, and they would probably total the same amount, if not more than a 250 kilogram table. Moving on to the higher weight tables into sort of 400, 450 kilograms. Again, if maybe you had some sofas or seating out, or maybe a bed or something, and then you had people sat on these sofas, again, you're probably going to get close, if not exceed, the sort of 400 to 450 kilogram mark. And again, you know, you would expect your floor to be able to take that. So generally, there shouldn't be any major concerns. However, very important that I say this, that if you have any concerns about the structure and of the room and the floor that you're going to put the pool table in, then do speak to a structural engineer or your builder to just double check that it's going to be fine. But most of the time, you'll find that these would nowhere near exceed the weight rating of the floor. Now, the only other reason we think that people ask about the weight of the table is maybe some concerns about how it's delivered. So generally, a single piece slate table will be delivered by a standard 2-man team, and they can generally put the sections of the table will be put onto various trolleys. These tables do come apart from the legs to the cabinet to the slate and the frame. So the weight is distributed quite evenly. American tables, strangely enough, although they are a lot heavier, they actually come in smaller kit formation, simply because the sheer size of them means that if you were to try and carry the slate of a 9-foot American table, it's going to be quite difficult. So they tend to cut the slate into sections, and that means that then they can be moved more readily. Similarly, the rails and the legs and things like that are more of a kit form. So strange enough, we tend to be able to get American tables into tighter spaces and turns and things like that into first floor or up from that into the rooms more readily. So that should hopefully give you a bit of peace of mind about the weight of a pool table, hopefully some interesting facts about them, and that should be what you need to know.